All right, so welcome. Today we are meeting with Adam Sensel. He is one of our resident artists that we've had for quite a while now. A lot of fans, people come in, they love your work. So good things are happening. You have some of your work at Rootstock.
Awesome.
We talked about that, right? So a lot of
Yep.
work you brought in. So that's going very well. A lot of admirers, that's hard to say, admirers there as well. So Rootstock is building their membership for kind of this back secret room. It's really cool. So next time you're in town, I'll take you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So Adam is from North Carolina.
I've been in Greensboro for a while. Originally from Cleveland, Ohio, born and raised. But yeah, Greensboro's been home. I love it down here. Nice and warm.
And it's perfect because you can shoot over here to Woodstock as needed. And hopefully you'll get to kind of come visit here in the near future. I know you're working on some new works, so I'm super excited to see those as well. So I'll just let you kind of take it from here. Tell us about you and your background, kind of how you got started.
Sure, I've always kind of been drawn to the arts. My mother was an artsy person, my brother as well. So I've always been drawn to it. I did arts heavy in high school. I got my bachelor's degree from West Virginia in fine arts with an emphasis in studio painting. And I've just continued that love for it. Playing around with different style mediums. I was doing silkscreen for a while. Then meshed that with painting and some of the digital work that I do, and that's where I'm at today now.
Well, your work definitely has a very unique style. And I'll be honest, people ask, and I will say, I kind of know, but I can't explain it perfectly. So I'll let you do that. Tell us about your process.
I try and work from photos that I have some sort of connection to. Either I've taken the picture or I know who's taken the picture. And then I like to take that image. Some of them have intricacies in them or nice little tender moments that you don't notice looking at the bigger picture, but you focus in, you can find something like that. So I'll run that through some software, Photoshop usually, maybe Adobe Illustrator, tweak the colors, the amount of output, saturation. And then from there, I project that onto a raw canvas that's all prepped up, ready to go, and just build it up layer by layer, individual colors by individual colors at a time, until I get a final work that you can see.
How long does it take for your work to dry? Because you're all oils.
It's all oil, yeah. So the first layer goes on, I use in my medium, little Japanese dryer, so that forces it to dry fairly quickly. Painting can take anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks to really cure and be hard. I just finished a commission for someone. I was trying to take it home on the airplane, but it just wasn't dry enough, so I had to tell the client, I'll get it to you, I'll mail it to you, but it was only 2 weeks dry by the time I tried to fly with it, and it wasn't ready. So
it definitely takes a while. I know with some that we have here, occasionally, I'll still get just a little bit of, when I'm touching it and moving things around.
Yep.
Just a little bit of tint on my hands. That's okay though.
Yeah, those are just little miracles. That's right.
And some have asked if you use posterizing from like Photoshop in some of your imaging. Is that a thing that you use or?
No. Really, It's more just messing with the saturations, dump it into Illustrator where it packages it down to 12 to 15 colors is what I like to work with. So yeah, no clusterizing.
Okay. Well, I think when I think posterizing, I think of exactly as you're describing it.
Oh, okay. Then yes.
But I don't know. So tell us a little bit about kind of what you're up to these days, some of the new works that are coming.
So I'm working on some stuff that's from a past trip to Puerto Rico. Captured some great imagery in old San Juan. If you've ever been to Puerto Rico, you know that the colors of the buildings are so vibrant and so loud that it just suits my work very well. So I've got a bunch of that working. It's been a slow year. I started in the wintertime. I got about 5 or 6 paintings started with one coat and one layer, and then I stopped for a little bit, and now during the summer I'm up here readjusting these paintings and adding more layers. So I'm up to like 2 finished works, 3 other works in process, and 5 more to go from there.
And if I'm understanding correctly, you tend to work on several paintings at once, and that's
yeah.
part of your process.
I like to co-paint. It helps to minimize the waste of paint that I mix up. I don't waste paint too much, because even if I mix it, it just sits on a glass piece of table that dries, and I can go back and reuse that paint anytime. The only time I lose paint is when I mix Japanese dry into it. You can't hold on to that. That's just going to dry hard. So yeah. So co-painting's fun, because you get these 2 paintings, playing off each other. So you get tired with one, or you just need to take a break, you move on to this one. So yeah, it's interesting. It's nice to see it happen. So.
Well, good. So tell us a little bit about kind of your vision too going forward. So how do you see you as an artist, your art, your career, say 5 years from now? If I had a kind of a crystal ball that we could look into the future.
I mean,
what do you see?
Always the dream is to be, big known, name in lights. I'm just enjoying making work that is pleasing to my eye, sharing that with everyone. The opportunity I have here at Tranquility Gallery is great. I've been really appreciative of the opportunity here, and the exposures have been wonderful. I can't thank you guys enough for that. So yeah, I just want to continue that. I think you said it in the email once, a small fish in a big pond. So that's what I'm working on, just being that, getting my work out to as many people as I can, just constantly doing it. That's the thing, just keep it on it, keep doing it, keep making art. So.
Yeah, someone said to me one time, and it made so much sense, that a true artist has an urgency to create art all the time. So even though you may have a few days that you're on vacation, or, we all have other things we have to do, but there's that constant urgency to get back to it, get back to the studio. Yeah. And that's kind of the small fish in a big pond idea, right? Because there's plenty of room to grow. And the idea is that 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 6 months from now, right? We continue to grow. So definitely a philosophy that we've adopted around here. And we have a lot of good things coming. I mean, we're very thankful that, you're a part of that. So you were one of the first that we started out with, and we've done some growing, and we definitely plan on doing some more growing. So
excellent.
So tell us a little bit about kind of your heroes. If you had to choose some of the historical artists, who would be your hero in the art world?
I take to Van Gogh heavily. I love his colors. Edward Hopper, another artist I really like. Nighthawks at the Diner, great painting. Just captures emotion that, you see that painting, you see these people sitting in this diner, and there's not much going on, and the colors, brilliant. I think it's brilliant. It might be a little timid for what I do, but I see brilliance in the color there. The emotion in that Nighthawks at the Diner, you can tell these people are dealing with life, and that's great. Edward Manet, his paintings are great. Again, the way he captures just ordinary events and just highlights it. I also really enjoy Francis Bacon's real raw abstractness. I tend not to be too abstract in the physical, what I'm painting, even though my blurriness ends some abstraction to it, but Francis Bacon's raw abstraction is really, really wonderful.
So tell us a little bit about kind of your daily routine and your process. Not necessarily I brush my teeth at 8 a.m.
I go to work first, and then I come back in the studio now. So yeah, when I get a free moment, I get up in the studio. Again, I have paintings usually in process, so I can usually just get up here and just mix a color up. I work off of a printed sheet that I from the Photoshop document, I've extracted the 12, 15 colors, and I print them out on a piece of paper, and I try to mix to that output from the printer, which is close to what I'm seeing on the digital image, and then mix that color, and then just start applying layers. So yeah, I usually do 2 to 3 layers at a time, or per painting. So yeah. Other times when I have to start a painting, again, it work up the Photoshop document, and then it's just a matter of projecting it. And that process, usually I have to get that painting done in one day because my projector moves. So it gets harder when you go back a day and everything's moving. You got to readjust. Things don't line up sometimes, and paintings look weird then. Not that that's bad.
So if you were mentoring young artists just starting out, and if you were teaching your process, what's some of the hurdles that you would warn people to think about?
So my process really developed out of the silk screening, breaking an image down to be able to place it onto a shirt that, registers with people, is easily readable, but limits the amount of color and information that you're giving. So yeah, that would be my first warning, is realize what you want to paint and what you want to see on back from the canvas. And then it's just a matter of just, putting in the time. I hear a lot of friends who are artists who say, I haven't been making art, I'm doing this. Well, have you put in the time? It's a struggle. It doesn't come easy to come up into the studio and paint and put time in. It takes physical energy to get up here and do this, but if you do it, you'll produce. And if you're producing, then anything can happen. So
I agree. I mean, you've got to really have a vision for where you're going before you even get started. Otherwise, I think I get lost. If I don't have that vision ahead of time, I definitely think I get lost.
It helps to have, my process is pretty well locked in. I really like the style that I'm painting, and my process is yet to let me down, so I can continue to lean on that when I'm not feeling like, I don't really want to paint. If I just lean on the process a bit, I'll still make a pretty decent image. So.
Well, we definitely have a lot of cool things planned for the gallery. This being, kind of one of our new adventures. We expect to get a lot more exposure for the gallery and for our artists. I just believe that 10 years from now, people will still be watching these videos. So with that in mind, 10 years from now, what would you want people to know about you or your art?
Interesting. That's a good question. 10 years from now. I'd like to be able to see my image and know that, I've heard of this guy, or, just a little name recognition, little visual recognition. Sure. I'd like to see my work out there a little bit more, for sure. I have hopes to, my brother, who's an artist and lives in New York City, we always talk and riff back and forth. And, ideally, I'd like to present a co-created art piece that me and him do. Sure.
Oh, that would be awesome. So you just gave me an idea, kind of the Sensel brothers creation.
Absolutely, yeah.
There we go. We might have to talk about that more. I think you know me well enough to know that this is always going, right? Like constantly going, lots of ideas. Sometimes those ideas don't make it past here. But we've been playing with different ideas of how to first gain more exposure for the gallery and our artists, but also how to honor our artists. And last year we did our artist appreciation dinner. This year we're going to do something a little different, and I'll be honest, kind of had some of this going on in my mind. And you've met Mike. We brainstorm all the time. And then when I went to New York, a lot of the pieces for what I now know I want to do kind of fell into place because I met a lot of people there. And so we are going to be holding our first annual, and the plan is to do this every year, but in September, we're going to be holding our first annual award ceremony. And we're going to be honoring a few of our resident artists, but also some artists that outside of the gallery and across the United States. But we would love for you to be able to come and let us honor you that night, as well as one of our, we're calling it the VIA Awards. very influential artist. So I can certainly send you that information, but I definitely wanted to give you that invite. Like I said, we're only going to be honoring, we'll be able to honor a few of our resident artists that night. I get tongue-tied very easily. But we also want to start including like the written arts and the performing arts as well. So a lot of good things, a lot of growth, right? That small fish in a big pond, do a lot of growth there. So we definitely want to honor you that night. So I'll send you that information as well, and hopefully you can attend.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Thank you.
All right. Well, can you think of anything else that you want the world to know before?
Oh, if you got the itch, make it happen.
Well, thank you for your time, and we will definitely be in touch.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.